go.
I'm a dying breed, laborer, strictly muscle work. Pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. Typically in the morning, you wait at the shanty until 7 o'clock. You go in at 7 and start climbing up the ladder, making your way up the steel. Every 2 floors, you plank it off. Then you disconnect the bottom of the mast and tie it to the boom on top of the choking cable. You do that same thing and pick up the other side. I've been working structural steel since I was 18 years old. I've worked on towers probably 1,000 feet high. Most people are afraid of heights like that, so automatically every iron worker has an ego. See you guys. You're doing something that somebody else can't do. Plus you get to wear a tool belt. When you're a kid, 18 years old, and you have the wrenches in like a holster, you're like a cowboy. But I always knew I was going to be an iron worker. My older brothers were iron workers, and my father was an iron worker, so it was a natural course of events. My father was very disappointed I didn't go to college. We had a college boy at work this summer. One time, he sees a book in my back pocket. He was amazed. He says to me, "You read?" That's what can get to you. The non-recognition by other people. To say that a man is just a laborer or a woman is just a waitress, it bothers you sometimes. Some mornings I look across the skyline for a building I worked on, say, that office building. See that building? I helped build it. And I know some guy is sitting in his corner office behind his $5,000 desk, and he's never gonna think about me. But yeah, I think about him sometimes.
Amanda, where's that P&L report?
It's on your desk.
Why is it not in my hand?
I'm a project manager. I'm here at work at 7:30 a.m. and I leave at 8 p.m. In between my meetings, I answer messages and email. And I try to avoid my boss. You always have a boss. And sometimes you have an okay boss. And other times, you have a Satan boss. He's still behind me, isn't he? I wish these walls were just a little higher. I've been in all kinds of cubicles. I've been in the high wall cubes and the half-height cubes. The way things are these days, I'm glad to be in any kind of cubicle at all. I have friends who would kill for this job. For any job. I paper the walls of my cubicle with posters. I bring in fresh flowers, brought in my favorite ceramic lamp. This little collection of things on top of my computer, I call them computer gods. I guess I have more direct decorations than I thought. But in a cubicle, things like glow-in-the-dark skeletons go a long way.
Sharing a cubicle is sort of like sharing a bathroom stall. No matter how tall the walls are or how big it is, you're still in there with somebody else in a not sexy way.
I can see the programmer in the cubicle next to me through the reflection in the window. I can see her reflection to see what she's doing. Quite often, she's just emailing jokes to her sister. But I also acquired a webcam. I set it up so it points right behind me, and there's a little window on my computer screen, so if anybody walks behind me, I can see them.
I grew up expecting I'd get out of college and make $1 million. I grew up expecting that someone was just going to hand deliver a Mercedes to my front door. It's been quite a rude awakening. This is the first time in 4 generations that I have it worse than my parents.
Jobs aren't big enough for people. When you ask most people who they are, they define themselves by their job. I'm a doctor, or I'm a carpenter, or I'm a sportscaster. But when someone asks me, I say I'm Amanda McKenney. At certain points in time, I do things for a living. My mentality is totally different than those people who are 20 years older than me. The lifers. I have no real sense of loyalty because I know they have a business to run and they'll lay me off if it's prudent. I accept that. I don't perceive that anyone my age thinks I've got a job for life. What they feel is, all right, I'm going to get as much as I can from this company, and then I'm going to move on and make more money. This is the first job of many.
I'm a guy who likes to work. Some people enjoy tennis. I enjoy work. I enjoy being a leader. I enjoy being the guy everybody looks to. I like the responsibility of having a team of people working for me. In our world of money, money management is still the sexiest job there is. Ask any girl at the East Bank Club. Money is hot. True story. They did a study that found that just looking at a Maserati made girls produce twice as many hormones as normal. Oh yeah. If someone wants to call me a shallow douchebag, a corporate tool, a freaking robber baron, I take it as a compliment. Abso-fucking-lutely. That's what this country is about. The free market. It's not perfect, but if they would leave it alone, it would sure as hell correct itself better than any regulator can. Yeah, some companies will go away, some people will lose jobs, and some people will lose money. But that's just basic capitalism. Who developed America? The regulators, the SEC, or was it the Mellons, the Rockefellers? I mean, tell me what they did bad. Rockefeller exploited some workers in the copper fields. Maybe he shot some of them. Fine. Not perfect, but who benefited? There's still Standard Oil, isn't there? Mellon's Bank is still around. Listen, how many charities were started by these people? How many museums, theaters, national parks are here for us to enjoy thanks to the robber barons? These were the giants who built our cities, who built our country. Unless you have losers, you cannot have winners. Hold on a second, I gotta take this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, give me 5 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Look, I'm going to have to cut this short. I need to get back on the phone before the markets close overseas. Everybody works long hours these days. Kid wants to make it, he's got to be willing to work long hours. And he's got to know how to outsmart the regulators to make a profit. It's easy. Christ, if you can't outsmart one little government staff, you shouldn't come to work in the morning. I should be their teacher. You know, I always wanted to teach. That's what I'd like to do when I get tired of all this. Get involved with young people. Pass along my knowledge, my experience, my values.
Good morning. Hernando, how are you? Oh, good morning, Selena. I missed you. In your heart, you may have a dislike for a certain child, but you force yourself to say, "Good morning, Manuel. How you doing?" Someone forgot to take his Ritalin this morning. My name is Rose Hoffman. I teach 3rd grade. At 9 a.m. we begin with arithmetic. I have tables fun up on the board. You don't say tables, you say tables fun. Everything has to be fun, fun, fun. I tell my kids, Mrs. Hoffman's here. Everybody works. Working is a blessing. In the old days, I had 18 to 20 students in my class. They came in right at the beginning bell and stayed to the very end. Today, I have 37 children in my class. They come in, play with their cell phones, and leave for computer lab, art therapy. Oh yes, I've seen great changes since I started working here in 1967. January 6th, 1967. My students were primarily Polish back then. I love the Polish people. They work hard. My classroom was always a showcase. In those days we did it ourselves, with colorful pictures and charts on the wall, a snowman in winter, a pumpkin in fall, and all my supplies were in neat little piles on the shelves. My children were always respectful. When the principal came, they would rise. If I had to leave for a minute or two, they always found something constructive to do, and everyone sat in their places according to size. But kids don't know how to behave anymore. Ask them to rise and they ask you what for. We confiscate weapons and drugs at the door. No spitballs and comic books now. They want me to teach in a classroom like that, but nobody tells me how. Back then we actually taught English. Not English as a second language. I am shocked that English is the second language. You know, when my parents came over, they didn't learn Jewish as a first language at the taxpayer's expense. Of course, back then we had the paddle. Oh, yes, I am a firm believer in corporal punishment. It builds respect and trust. I made a big thing about spelling, but they learned by the time I got through. They copied the words till they knew them by heart, 10 times for the dumb ones and twice for the smart, and gold stars were given to those who made sentences too. But why bother teaching them spelling today? Nobody knows how to read anyway. How can you spell what you can't even say? It's say habla español now. The way I've been teaching for 40-some years is no longer effective, or so it appears. But damn it, it worked for me then, so what's wrong with it now? They say I'm supposed to keep up with the times, but nobody ever tells me how. There is one student who stands out in my mind after all my years of teaching. My favorite. She wasn't very bright, but she was never any trouble. I see her every once in a while. She has the same smile for everyone. Class dismissed.
The first 2 months I started working for the airlines, I had already been to New York, London, and Paris, which is pretty huge when you're from Kankakee, Illinois. But once you start working for the airlines, it's actually not as glamorous as you thought it was going to be. Sometimes people just get nasty. Well, I mean, they're harassed by security and then they get delivered to us. And your shining personality only goes so far. We get scared sometimes, too. I mean, I've never yet been so scared that I haven't wanted to get on the plane, but there have been times at takeoff when there's been something funny. This one time, I was working first class with a load full of passengers, and the captain tells me that we're going to have to make an emergency landing in Chicago because we lost a pin out of the nose gear. When we land, the nose gear is going to collapse. So he wants me to prepare the entire cabin for this landing, only not for another 2 hours, and not to tell any of the other flight attendants because they're new and will get all excited. So I have to keep this in me for 2 hours, and I'm serving drinks and food, and I'm wondering, am I going to die today? And this guy gets mad at me because his omelet's too cold. I wanted to say, you just wait, buddy. You're not going to have to worry about that fucking omelet! When I told my parents I was going into the airlines, they got so excited. My mother especially thought it would be great that I could have the ambition, the nerve to go to the city on my own and try to accomplish something. But really, I just wanted to get out of Kankakee.
You want to have a thrill? There's no comparison, not even to a jet plane, than climbing on the back of a steel truck and going out there on the Dan Ryan Expressway. The minute you climb on the back of that truck, forget about the wife and kids. You just kiss goodbye and, the adrenaline starts pumping. Breaker number 9, big buddy, put your ears on for me now. Big trucker, gotta have a big light. So come on, brother trucker, you better come back, brother. Keep seeing double, lest I close one eye. I got to roll, brother trucker. So enough ashamed about the shape I'm in. Roll, brother trucker. I'm back on my wheels again. Roll, brother trucker. Outward bound from South Bend. Roll, brother trucker. I'm back on my wheels again. I'm running out of whites. Goddamn dim those headlights. 4 hours of sleep in the last 2 nights. But I'm gonna be alright. I got roll, brother trucker. I say when, you say when. I say roll, brother trucker. I'm back on my wheels again. Roll, brother trucker. Back it on up and do it again. Roll, brother trucker. I'm back on my wheels again. So you're gone for a week or 2 weeks, picking up a load of one Ford and delivering it to another. You sit in that truck and your only companionship's your own thoughts. And you don't want to get stuck thinking about your problems at home. So you turn up the radio if you can hear it loud enough to hear of the engine. Yeah. Yeah, we truckers, we fantasize something tremendous. You start thinking about the girl behind that voice. You build up something in your mind until you start to believe it. Moon over New Jersey, big state police. I'm in a hurry. Won't you let me go in peace? I'm independent. I ain't got no teams to know. 'Cause the AFL and the CIO, no, they still don't know. And the only man telling me where to go is the man who owns the load. He said, roll, brother trucker. I say when, you say when. Brother trucker. I'm back on the wheels again. I say roll, brother trucker. Back it on up and do it again. Roll, brother trucker. I'm back on my wheels again. I'm back on my wheels again. Yeah, so coming home to your wife, that could be sort of a letdown. She's got to raise the kids and, fight off the bill collectors. She can't even count on her husband to be there for a graduation or a communion. When you do get home, you'd rather be sleeping than getting ready to go out on a Saturday night. I make 2 round trips to Evansville a week and pass within 4 blocks of my house, and I never get to go home. Sometimes easier to just keep going, So you call your wife and you tell her that you're not going to be back. And second. Hey, honey. Effing phone company.
Verizon Tech Support. This is Johnny. How may I help you?
Yeah, this number isn't working and I have like 5 bars.
I'm sorry you're having trouble, sir. May I please have the number you're calling?
Yes, it's 565-461-2710.
I'm sorry, sir. All circuits in your area are busy.
Jesus Christ, what are you talking about? I can't even understand what you're saying. What is wrong with you people?
I'm sorry, sir. Why don't you wait 5 minutes and then place your call again. You know, you think they'd be great for get a live person instead of a computer. Sometimes you want to talk to them. They really sound upset. For me, it's a temptation to say, gee, what's the matter? But you can't say more than, I'm sorry you're having trouble. If you get caught talking to a customer, that's 1 mark against you. 3 marks in your... One woman said to me, operator, I'm lonesome. Will you talk to me? I said, I'm sorry, I can't. But you can't. I'm a communications person. And I can't communicate.
So, I always thought of a receptionist as the loser at the front desk taking phone messages. Now I'm one.
So of course I had to change my opinion, right? She had to be someone special, since I'm so special. I was fine until we had this office party. I'd be having a fairly intelligent conversation with someone when they'd ask me what I did. And I'd say, I'm a receptionist, and make an excuse and walk away. So now I come up with other names for what I do. Communications control, entry management. I'm tired of
Strange,
the
but you get
day,
tired of talking.
There was
My
a
mouth
10-minute
gets
break in
tired
the day
because
when
you
it's
talk for 10
quiet.
hours straight without
You can't
10-minute
think.
break. You can't
What I
think
do
about
is say
it.
whatever I have to say as
Everyone's in a
quickly as
hurry to talk
possible
to
and
somebody
switch the
else,
call
but
where
not
I'm
to talk
going
to
to.
you.
I
You're in
notice
a room
people
the
back
size
here
of a
slow down.
gymnasium, surrounded by people, talking to people, thousands of miles away.
I never listen on a phone conversation.
Do I listen in on a phone conversation?
But let me tell you, some people really do. I once worked
Especially
at
if you're working
AT&T and
late
the
at
girls
night.
there always
Sometimes
listen
people
on
on the
phone
line can be so
conversations.
absurd
I don't
that
care
you'll
who
sit
you
there
are. If you work
laughing
nights and it's
until the
quiet,
tears
you're
roll
gonna
down your
listen in
face.
on phone conversations.
It makes the night go faster.
Sometimes, to make the day go faster, I'll do drawings, laundry and sort of things, never people. I pretend I'm alone and everything's quiet. I call it the land of no phone. I never answer the phone at home.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, thank you. My husband gets the paper at the office and I read it online. No, I don't have an office. I don't work. But I work, of course I work. It's just, I don't have a job. Anyway, thanks for the offer. I'm a stay-at-home mom. In my Mother's Day, they would have called me a housewife. That's funny. It's not like I sit around watching soap operas all day. I have a lot of work to do. You just want something more exciting to talk about at a dinner party, you know? You know, something that matters. What I do only matters to 3 people. All I am is just a housewife. Nothing special, nothing great. What I do is kind of boring. If you'd rather, it can wait. All I am is someone's mother. All I am is someone's wife. All of which seems unimportant. All it is just my life. Do the laundry, wash the dishes, take the dog out, clean the house, shop for groceries, Look for specials. God, it sounds so. Mickey Mouse. Drop the kids off. Pick the shirts up. Try to lose weight. Try again. Keep the troops fed. Pick their things up. Lose your patience. Count 2, 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All I am is just a housewife. Just a housewife. Nothing great. What I do is out of fashion. What I feel is out of date. All I am is someone's mother. Right away I'm not too bright. What I do is unfulfilling. So the TV talk shows tell me every night. I don't mean to complain at all, but they make you feel like you're 2 feet tall when you're just a wife. All they see are the pots and pans and the Pepsi cans of a person's life. You're a whiz if you go to work, but you're just a jerk if you say you won't. People say that they think it's fine if the choice is mine, but you know they don't. When I do what I choose to do, maybe dumb to you, but it's not to me. Is it dumb that they need me there? Is it dumb to care? 'Cause I do, you see. And I mean, did you ever think, really stop and think what a job it was? Doing all the things that a housewife does. I'm afraid it's unimpressive. All I am is someone's mother. Nothing special. What I do is unexciting. Take the kids here, take the kids there. I don't mean to complain at all. Busy, busy. Every day. Like my mother. Just a housewife. You don't just jump up behind someone and scream.
Sorry.
It's all right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. You gotta make some excitement for yourself, you know? Wait, where is it? You know, I've already been bitten once by a Doberman. You know, that's probably the biggest part of Dog's Day. The UPS man comes. So, when no one's looking, you kick him down the street. Even if he's just following you, you try to get him for the one you missed a couple of houses back. Yeah, it's a big subject of conversation amongst us. Dogs. And women. If you have a sweet-looking babe, that kind of brightens up your day. You have a code you put in the system. You put a Q. It stands for cutie. You have a nice-looking honey laying in her backyard in a 2-piece bathing suit. She'll be laying there with her top strap undone. She'll be laying on her stomach, and you go there and you scare her good enough. She'll jump up. Gives you something to do. Adds excitement to the day. Yes!
I didn't want to become a housewife like my mother and sisters. Somehow I knew I wanted more out of life. I was 15. I was sitting in this coffee shop when a friend came by and said, "Yo, hurry up. I kept waiting. You can make $500 in 20 minutes." So we went up to this penthouse, and the guy up there, he was quite well known. First, he wanted to watch two women do it. And then, he wanted to have sex with me. It was barely sex. He was almost finished by the time we started. It was a tremendous kick. I mean, there I was, doing nothing, feeling nothing, and in 20 minutes, I was gonna walk out of there with $500 in my pocket. And you know, just out of curiosity, how many people do you know make $500 for 20 minutes work? And I was still in high school.
I like to consider myself an upper-class working girl. The press likes to call me a socialite, but really that's just another name for a well-dressed fundraiser. To me, fundraising is like candy. You get to talk with fascinating people and promote causes you love, and what could be more delicious than that? I began in the 80s when I threw a party in Washington, D.C. for Nicaraguan refugee children. It wasn't for the Contras, though I'm sure that would have been fun too. But fundraising is work. It's hard to separate people from their money. There's finesse to approaching a potential donor. I never bring up money when I first meet someone. I mean, it's not like it's a secret. They know why I'm there. But sometimes I like to see how long I can go before I ask for a gift. Call me a tease.
It's a marketplace transaction. Somehow I managed to absorb this when I was quite young. I was a precocious child. Well, actually, I was sort of lonely. I didn't experience myself as being attractive. I mean, I didn't look like those Calvin Klein ads. But I was bright, and I didn't play by the rules. You know, guys were mostly scared of me. They didn't want to get involved emotionally, but they did want to fuck. And for a while, I was willing to accept that. It was feeling intimacy, feeling warm, feeling.
One day I was driving around New York City in a limousine during a hotel strike, and there was nowhere to go, and I said, "Now I know what it feels like to be a bag lady. You can't just go around picking up every homeless person and bring them home with you. But if you can say something entertaining, you bring a certain light to their eyes." Maybe that's what the word socialite means.
You become your job. Well, I've become a hustler. Even when I'm not hustling, I'm a hustler. What you do is what you are. And you know, I don't think it's so terribly different from someone who works on an assembly line 40 hours a week and comes home cut off, numb. People aren't built to switch on and off like water faucets.
I work in a luggage factory. We make suitcases. Tank I work at is 6 foot deep, 8 foot square. In 40 seconds. You have to take the wet felt out of the felter. Put the blanket on to draw out the excess moisture. Wait 2, 3 seconds, take the blanket off. Pick the wet felt up and balance it on your shoulder. Reach over. Get the hose. Spray the inside of the copper screen. You turn around, walk to the hot dry dye behind you. Pick the hot piece up and set it on the floor. Put the wet piece on the dry dye. Press this button. Inspect the piece you just took off. Stack it, count it. 40 seconds.
You have to take the wet felt out of the felter. Put the blanket on to dry.
In the summertime, the temperatures at our workstation range from 100 to 150 degrees.
Put the wet felt up and balance.
I've taken thermometers and checked it out.
Over. Get the hose.
I have arthritis in the joints of my fingers. Naturally in my shoulder from balancing the wet piece. You know, the hose will sometimes leak and spray back on you. The hydraulic presses leak, so you're slipping on oil. You have the possibility of being burnt every time that dry eye hits the wet felt. You're engulfed in a cloud of steam every 40 seconds. The tanks run 24 hours a day. I work 8 straight hours with 2 10-minute breaks and 1 20-minute break for lunch. I find it difficult to eat my lunch in that length of time. 40 seconds.
Granddad was a sailor, and he blew in off the water. My father was a farmer, and I, his only daughter, took up with an old good mill-working man from Massachusetts, who died from too much whiskey, and leaves me these 3 faces to feed. Mill work ain't easy, mill work ain't hard. Mill work most often is a goddamn awful boring job, and I'm waiting on a daydream to take me through the morning, to put me in my coffee break so I can have my sandwich and remember. It's me and my machine for the rest of the morning, for the rest of the afternoon, and the rest of my life.
They can't keep men on the tanks. They say it's too monotonous. I think women adjust to monotony better than men do, because their minds are used to doing 2 things at once, whereas a man can only think of 1 thing at a time. A woman can listen to her child while she's doing something else. It's the same way on the tanks. You get to be automatic in what you're doing. Your mind is just doing something else.
My mind begins to wander to the days back on the farm, and I can see my father smiling at me, swinging on his arm, and I can hear my granddad's stories of the storms out on Lake Erie, vessels and cargoes, fortunes and sailors' lives were lost. My life has been wasted, and I have been a fool to let this manufacturer use my body for a tool. I get to ride home in the evening, staring at my hands, swearing by my sorrow that a young girl ought to stand a better chance. Just as long as I am able, and never meet the man whose name is on the label. It's me and my machine for the rest of the morning, for the rest of the afternoon, and the rest of my life.
Wish you didn't have to work in a factory. When it's all you know how to do, it's what you do.